Yeah, Haley, you right. Dad's always mad, cooped up in the studio, yelling at the mic.
It was 2018 and MGK had just done something that nobody, and I mean nobody, thought was possible. He dropped Rap Devil, the biggest diss track against Eminem the world had heard. Since, well, the last time someone tried to diss Eminem and got bodied. Not one to let that slide, Slim Shady hit back with Killshot, a diss so lethal that MGK probably checks his closet for Eminem before going to bed to this day. But hold up, let's take it back a little. Before M was obliterating rivals on the mic, he was just a hungry kid from Detroit in the late 90s. And by hungry, I mean literally. But everything changed in 1999 when the Slim Shady LP dropped like a bomb on the music scene. Suddenly, Eminem was breaking records, getting banned on TV, and making his mom seriously rethink her life choices.
Life I was lied to. I just found out my mom does more than I do.
He needs to quit demeaning me. He needs to quit, making attacks on me. I mean, you don't do this to...
Fast forward to today, and the man's sitting on a net worth of over $250 million. But what do you do when you've got all that cash? You spend it on some of the craziest, most expensive things we've ever seen. Let's start with his garage, because Eminem's car collection is about as fast as his rap flow and just as flashy as his career. First up, we've got the Porsche Carrera GT. Remember when Eminem rapped about having to bum $1 for gas for his old Monte Carlo? Well, those days are long behind him. The Porsche Carrera GT is practically the opposite of that Monte Carlo. It's a supercar with a price tag north of $500,000, and only 1,270 were ever made. This beauty can hit 0 to 60 under 5 seconds, but don't get too impressed yet because we're just getting started. Speaking of fast, let's roll over to his Aston Martin V8 Vantage, a car so slick it can make James Bond himself do a double take. This British beauty, valued at $150,000, is just the kind of ride you'd expect from a guy who can rap at breakneck speeds. But it's not just the looks that got our jaws dropping. This baby has speed too, going from 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, which is still slower than how quickly M fired back at MGK, but still impressive. Now, what car collection would be complete without an Audi? And because he's Eminem, he went for the Audi R8 Spider. This isn't just any Audi, he went for the convertible version. But here's a funny twist. M actually sued Audi back in the day for using Lose Yourself in one of their ads without permission. So owning this car is like a peace treaty in the form of a $200,000 ride. Smooth move, am I right? But let's not stop there. Eminem's also rolling with the Ferrari 599 GTO, a $371,000 car that's as rare as his ability to stay out of the headlines. With only 599 of these bad boys ever made, it's the kind of Ferrari that every car enthusiast dreams of, but few will ever touch. It's built for the track, but looks just as good parked in the garage. Plus, its interior is bigger than you'd expect for a sports car, so there's enough room for all that lyrical genius to stretch out. Eminem's also got the Ferrari 575, a beast of a car that only about 2,000 people in the world can say they own. It's sleek, it's fast, and its 5.7-liter 12-cylinder engine makes sure of that. While it might not be the absolute fastest in his collection, he dropped $200,000 to snag it. Besides, it's still a Ferrari, so really, who's complaining? And because Eminem clearly has a thing for speed and precision, he's also got a Porsche 911 GT3 RS 4.0 coming in at a cost of $184,000. He's so fond of Porsches that he even dropped a reference to one in his track Love Me, where he raps 911 Porsche, same color as cranberry sauce. Now you can't mention rapper car collections without talking about Lambos, right? Eminem's got the Lamborghini Aventador, the holy grail of rap stars. This isn't just a flashy car for the gram, it's a 217 mph monster designed for racing and luxury. With a price tag that can soar up to $700,000 depending on customizations, it's no wonder this car has become a staple in hip-hop music videos. Besides, Drake and Kanye have one, so naturally Slim Shady had to get in on the action. And just when you think he's done, Eminem pulls out the McLaren MP4 12C. Owning a McLaren is like showing the world you've truly made it, and it's basically the car version of Eminem's success story. With a twin-turbo V8 engine, the MP4 12C is valued at $240,000. But there's also a sentimental pick in his collection, the Ford GT. Back in 2005, Ford and Eminem had a bit of a falling out after they pulled a deal with them over one of his controversial music videos. But now all is forgiven, and Slim Shady has a Ford GT sitting in his garage. This special edition, coming at a cool $150,000, was made for Ford's 100th anniversary. With a top speed of 205 mph, it's one of his fastest cars. Finally, we round out the list with yet another Porsche, the Porsche 911 Turbo. This is the fourth Porsche in his collection, and by this point it's pretty clear the man loves his German engineering. This $160,000 monster can hit speeds of 198 miles per hour, and if you're feeling extra fancy, the Turbo S will push you over 200 miles per hour. So where does the rap god go when he needs to kick back, relax, and maybe, just maybe, write a diss track in peace? Well, unlike a lot of celebs, Eminem isn't out here flaunting mansions on Instagram or throwing epic parties with inflatable swans in the pool. He's always kept his real estate low-key, which keeps us guessing when it comes to how big his real estate collection is. But we got tabs on a few of his units. First up is his primary residence, the Clinton Township Mansion in Michigan. And here's what's cool about all this property. While other celebrities are snatching up places in LA, New York, or the Hamptons, Eminem stayed true to his roots. He didn't just cash in and peace out to Hollywood like everyone else. He's still based in Michigan, repping the state as much as he did in the early days. I mean, it's kind of fitting. He went from 8 Mile to 17,500 square feet, but he's still staying close to home. Now, this isn't just any run-of-the-mill house, no. This 8,900 square foot stunner is the place Eminem has been calling home since 2000. That's over 20 years of Slim Shady putting his feet up at the same address. He bought it for $1.48 million, peanuts by today's celebrity mansion standards, but it's still a beast of a house. Now, not much is known about the inside of his home because Eminem is, well, not exactly the MTV Cribs type. He's not out here giving tours of his walk-in closet or showing off his gourmet kitchen, but from the outside, oh, it's grand. We're talking a long driveway that leads to a fountain, brick facade, and roof lines so complicated even a drone would get lost trying to take it all in. Honestly, there's probably a whole wing of the house just for writing diss tracks. But let's not forget Eminem's former estate, the one he used to escape to whenever Clinton Township got a little too loud. We're talking about the Rochester Hills mansion. Now, I say mansion, but honestly, calling it a mansion feels like I'm underselling it. The thing is massive. We're talking 17,500 square feet of pure baller status. He bought this baby in 2003 for a cool $4.75 million, back when people were still using MySpace and flip phones were all the rage. And what a house it was. 6 bedrooms, each a suite. Because obviously, why have a regular bedroom when you can have a suite? 9.5 bathrooms. Whoever invented the half bath must have really liked to multitask. A guardhouse at the entrance, because when you're Slim Shady, you need some serious security. And let's not forget the tennis courts, waterfall pool, spa, entertainment cabana, and guest house with its own game room. In 2017, he would list it for sale, finally selling it for just under $2 million. While Eminem keeps a low profile with his real estate, he more than makes up for it with his Bling Game. Let's start with his jaw-dropping gold chain. But wait, this isn't just any chain. This is the chain. Pure gold weighing 2.5 pounds encrusted with diamonds. The price? Somewhere between $250,000 and $600,000. You know, pocket change in Slim's world. Here's the kicker. This wasn't even a random I'm bored buy. Nope, it was a gift from LL Cool J himself. Inspired by LL's I'm Bad video, remember the one where he's rapping about being supreme and craving jelly beans? LL probably looked at Eminem and thought, this man needs a little help in the bling department. And so the chain found its way around M's neck. If you thought that was wild, hold tight. Eminem also once sported a diamond-encrusted crucifix worth $450,000. But here's the fun part. During a concert, he just handed it over to a fan like it was a free t-shirt. Can you imagine? You show up to a concert and leave with a necklace that's worth more than your house. Lucky fan, right? Now when it comes to watches, Eminem's got a wild collection. Take his Rolex Day-Date 18038. It's got a gold nugget bracelet, and at $25,000, it's basically like wearing a down payment on your wrist. But M also has a soft spot for G-Shocks. His Casio G-Shock Frogman 30th anniversary? Rugged, stylish, and a bargain at $400 to $600. It shows he can rock a cool watch without having to drop 6 figures. Speaking of G-Shocks, he's got another one, the Eminem Limited Edition GDX 6900, which is practically a love letter to Detroit. It's got a backward E and the Detroit skyline. And if you're feeling nostalgic, you can get one for $400 to $700. Still pricey, but hey, when it's repping Detroit, it's worth it. But his pièce de résistance, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar Openwork. It's less a watch and more like a tiny time machine strapped to his wrist. Complete with a skeletonized dial and moon phase, this rose gold wonder costs $250,000. Yeah, no big deal. Oh, and just when you thought M was done, he dropped $425,000 on a Bored Ape NFT called Eminem Ape. It's a cartoon version of himself as a primate, complete with a signature cap and gold chain. Because why not? And don't even get me started on his comic book collection.
Now, am I right in thinking that one of the things you're addicted to right now, and I'm very excited about this, is American comic books? Oh yeah, I had that hobby when I was a kid. Like I used to collect comics a lot, and I guess as I started to get sober, I kind of like fell back in love with comic books again. It was like, oh, this is dope. Why did I ever leave this alone?
His collection also includes a mint condition Amazing Fantasy number 15, aka the first appearance of Spider-Man. This bad boy is worth over $1 million. Yep, one comic book that could buy you a luxury car. Here's the thing. Eminem isn't just about stacking bling and dropping serious cash on himself. Oh no, Slim Shady has a generous side too. He's been known to spoil his family and friends, sometimes with gifts that'll make your jaw hit the floor. Case in point, the $9 million mansion he gifted to his daughter Haley as a wedding present.
I'm not afraid of death. The truth is.
And I mean, if you've ever heard Mockingbird, you already know he's been in the business of giving Haley everything he never had since day one.
Temporary, have a look.
The pieces will grow back together, and in time I'll be fine.
And now that Papa Eminem is officially Grandpa Eminem, you can bet that grandkid's toy collection is going to be wild.